Welcome back, everyone. The Cleveland Cavaliers surprised the entire NBA world by trading for Donovan Mitchell, as they seemingly came out of nowhere to acquire him. Following the trade negotiations between Utah and New York ending on Monday, the Cleveland Cavaliers quietly got back into the mix for Donovan Mitchell, and it did not take long before they struck a deal. On Thursday afternoon, they acquired Donovan Mitchell for a package of Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji, 3 unprotected first-round picks, and 2 future first-round pick swaps. Definitely a large package to give up, but one that could very well be worth it, as they have now acquired a 25-year-old 3-time All-Star, and honestly, they arguably got him for less than what New York was offering. According to Woj, the Knicks' offer initially included RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, and 3 unprotected first-round picks. RJ Barrett alone is worth a lot through a trade, and he is currently a better player than anyone the Cavaliers had to give up. I mean, maybe Danny Ainge was showing a little small market favoritism here, but regardless, the Cavaliers walked away with the best player in the deal and a guy who instantly makes them significantly better. The only question is, how much better? In a now loaded Eastern Conference, it's tough to tell where they currently rank, and it's even tougher when you have to estimate how much they've improved naturally, because after all, a majority of their team is still under the age of 25. And with that in mind, we need to be aware of their natural growth. Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen are all continuing to get better. Prior to acquiring Donovan Mitchell, the Cavaliers did not really add anyone noteworthy over the summer, but then again, they did not really need to either. They already proved capable of being a playoff caliber team, and that was with a very young, inexperienced group as well. But now with Donovan Mitchell and another year under their belts, they are primed and ready to take a leap forward. It would be one thing to be overly optimistic about them if they gave up a key member of their team through the trade, but they somehow managed to avoid doing that. Lauri Markkanen was great, but he was not really in their core group, and while Colin Sexton and Ochai Agbaji have a lot of potential, neither of them had a clear role on their current team. Not to say that those 3 aren't good players, but the Cavaliers did not absolutely need them either, and they can definitely live with giving them up for Donovan Mitchell. But what really baffles me is that they even managed to avoid giving up a guy like Isaac Okoro as well, who, although has ways to go yet on offense, he will be a key member of their defense moving forward. And defense will really be the word of the day here. The Cavaliers are coming off of being a top 5 defensive team last season, and they have the perfect group to make up for Donovan Mitchell's subpar defense. Not only do they have 1 elite rim protector, but they have 2 of them, and 2 of the most versatile ones in the entire NBA at that. There are very few players who can do what Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley do on defense. Between Allen contesting literally everything around the rim, and Mobley being able to switch 1 through 5, they have one of, if not the best defensive front court in the entire league. And I feel like we can all agree that they have the most unique one as well. There are very few teams who still run 2 big lineups, but Cleveland took it a step further by playing into a 3 big lineup. Whenever they were healthy, they employed a starting lineup of Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, Lauri Markkanen, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen, the only lineup in the NBA with 3 players over the height of 6'10". They may have lost a piece in that in Lauri Markkanen, but they have the ability to replace him. They could either go the route of playing Okoro at the 3, which does appear fairly likely, or they could go with Dean Wade. He may not be very well known to the casual fan, but he was typically their frontcourt guy to fill in for injured players, and he quietly did a very good job at it too. Dean Wade took a big leap forward on defense last season, posting the highest defensive win shares and defensive box plus minus rating of his career. He really appeared to be a perfect fit for their new system, and he could very well end up with a starting job if they return to their 3 big lineup. Regardless though, the Cavaliers had the depth to replace Lauri Markkanen and do it without sacrificing their defense too, which is not something that can be said for many teams with a backcourt of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. I mean, not that they are outright horrible defenders, but they are definitely not very good either. Offense is where both of them thrive, and that is what they will be looked at to do. Donovan Mitchell will provide them with a big boost on offense. Darius Garland was looked at to do too much for them at times, and it likely contributed to him getting hurt late in the year. Their trade deadline addition of Caris LeVert was supposed to remedy that, but he was not a perfect fit for their team, and they did not quite have enough time to get him comfortable within their offense. And while it might appear that he is being pushed aside here, he will actually be a great fit off their bench, and he will have much more freedom doing that compared to being in their starting lineup. Between Caris LeVert and Donovan Mitchell, the Cavaliers have gained a big time boost in offense compared to what they had only a year ago, and now it's all about getting them all to fit. A player as talented as Donovan Mitchell can seemingly fit in any offense, but it might take a little time to work things out between him and Darius Garland. They will need to figure out the timeshare of on-ball duties between them, how and where to play them off-ball from each other, and how to effectively separate their minutes too. That was not a problem they had last season, and although it's a good problem to have, it's one they'll have to figure out nonetheless. It definitely helps that they're both great three-point shooters too. That is pretty much a priority when pairing two ball-dominant players in today's NBA, and it's a quality that each of them have. Darius Garland is coming off of shooting 38.3% on nearly 7 attempts per game, and Mitchell knocked down 35.5% of his three-point shots on nearly 10 attempts per game. Now, that might not sound all that great, but Mitchell's ability to make tough shots was something they did not have outside of Darius Garland, and at least on paper anyways, Mitchell would appear to be exactly what they needed. However, we cannot expect them to be great right away. It will take some time for them to gel, and we need to be aware of that too. They are a very young team after all, and very few of them have actually gone deep into the playoffs. Now, I do think their veteran presence will help with that, but we do need to be patient with them. Whenever they do figure it out though, then look out. They are a young, hungry team full of up-and-coming talent, and that mentality could help them overcome their lack of experience. With that being said though, just how good can we expect them to be in year number 1? And where's a good place to rank them in a tough Eastern Conference? It's hard for me to put them above Milwaukee, Miami, Philly, or Boston, but I think they deserve to be in the top 5. And who knows, maybe they could even be better than we initially think. Regardless though, I would not be surprised if they won more than 50 games, nor would I be shocked to see them be a top 5 seed either, and I really can't wait to watch them in action. What do you guys think though? Just how good do you think the Cleveland Cavaliers will be? And where would you rank them in a tough Eastern Conference? Let me know your thoughts by commenting down below and we can talk about it there. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and turn on notifications to get notified right away when I drop a new video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.